With a very high fire rate, as well as using one of the better ammo types in the game for dealing with armored opponents, the Assault Carbine is a highly reliable weapon when playing through Fallout New Vegas. While not super easy to grab early on, this doesn't discredit this weapon from being very good to have on any type of character for any given playthrough. That's why today I want to ask if you can beat Fallout New Vegas with only the Assault Carbine. Waking up in Doc Mitchell's house yet again, it's time to create our character so that we can get on our way with this challenge. Special stats are pretty standard this run, as, any gun build goes. I just need agility, intelligence, and luck for it to really pop. I did make sure to grab some endurance as well, because I wasn't sure how much damage I would be taking this run. I also chose guns, medicine, and speech, again, pretty standard for this run, as my tag skills, and then went with skilled and fast shot as my traits. I would regret fast shot later because it really didn't help all that much, and the Assault Carbine really needs as much accuracy as it can get, but that's a problem for future me to deal with. Anyways, out into the Mojave, I actually didn't stop by Chet's store. I immediately started beelining my way to the strip so that I could get to the gun runners and buy my weapon as quickly as humanly possible. There, really isn't a whole lot to talk about on the way there because I can't fight anything yet since I don't have my gun, and as far as I'm aware, I didn't do any research to back this point up, but as far as I'm aware, there's really no easy one to just go and grab early on, so my best bet is just to run over to the gun runners. There is one inside the factory which I could just steal, but I wanted to buy the gun runners arsenal version instead because it supports more mods, which is helpful later on. So that's exactly what I did. I made it to the gun runners, bought my weapon, bought some ammo, and then immediately decided that, hey, I'm gonna go find the nearest NPC, which is obviously my favorite person to kill immediately, who I usually test my weapons out on, and murder them. I actually almost died trying to take down just this one Wasteland legend because I forgot to equip any armor, and he had a pretty decently high power pistol, which nearly killed me almost instantaneously. I think I survived like 5 shots without dying, and I was on about 20 health after that. But, moving on, at least I have combat armor now. I then just, took my assault rifle to the Kings and started mowing them down with it. I actually didn't know how good the Assault Carbine was going into this challenge. I ended up doing some research after the run and found out that 5mm rounds actually have basically built-in armor piercing in New Vegas. They have a -10 damage threshold built into the bullet, and then I believe the armor piercing rounds themselves have -25, which is just crazy. I mean, there's literally no armor in the game besides maybe like power armor on the Brotherhood that can, actually take an armor piercing round from the Assault Carbine and actually tank it, which is just insane to me. I didn't think it was actually this insane of a weapon, and it kind of makes me regret not using it more in my regular playthroughs, because I didn't know how good the weapon was. After murdering all the Kings and killing old Ben, I didn't have enough caps to get into the strip quite yet, so I went back to the gun runners and sold some stuff off, found a mod for the Assault Carbine, which I did slap on to increase its durability, got enough caps to go into the strip, and immediately headed over to deal with Benny. I thought about being a terrorist and just shooting everyone down with the Assault Carbine, but I figured I'd like the idea of not doing that and sending Benny to his room so that I could just shoot him down instead, because I actually really like the chairmen. They're probably one of my favorite of the, whole casino factions. I don't really like the Omertas or the White Gloves all that much, which shows because I immediately decided that I was going to go commit my terrorist act against them. So I headed over there and mowed all them down because, they're a suitable replacement for killing the chairman, in my opinion. They didn't stand much of a chance either. I mean, they don't really have armor, so they died in, 5 or 6 bullets, and with the fire rate of the Assault Carbine, which I never actually found the fire rate mod, which is kind of weird, I was able to kill pretty much anything in my way instantaneously this run. Again, I wasn't expecting the weapon to actually be this good, so it was quite a surprise to me that it actually ended up not being that hard of a run. Anyways, after doing, the whole Mr. House Securitron upgrade thing after returning the Platinum Chip, who I would be siding with this run, I headed back to the gun runners to restock on ammo for a long time. I think I did about 3 or 4 restocks so that I could have a massive amount of ammo because Mr. House told me that I needed to go off to Cottonwood Cove and deal with the Legion. And by deal with the Legion, he wanted me to not do anything to them and just upgrade the Securitrons. I did not follow this advice. I decided that I was going to kill absolutely everyone here, and I haven't been to the fort in a while, so I figured this was a good return, since I haven't, done the fort in any of my Yes Man playthroughs because I forget that it exists, since the game doesn't really force me to go there, and I'm usually focused on other things. I mostly play these runs on autopilot at this point. I just kind of watch a movie in the background or something while going through the motions. But anyways, the Legion didn't really put up too much of a fight here. I mean, they really couldn't. The Assault Carbine is just insane. It was just a massacre. Absolutely insane. I did nearly die a couple times though, but that's mostly due to the Legionnaires having some pretty decent weapons. Some of them had hunting rifles, one of them had a tri-beam laser rifle, which was kind of scary. A couple of them had ballistic fists, etc, etc. You get the point, the weapons were scary. But otherwise, nobody really put up too much of a fight outside, and the same is true for, the bunker as well. Nothing in there was really able to challenge me, except for the guards guarding the weather station. Their melee attacks did a lot more damage than I was expecting, even in Mark II combat armor, which was a little bit terrifying. But none of the robots in the bunker posed any threat whatsoever. I mean, they died in about 4 shots. So I went ahead and upgraded the Securitron army for Mr. House and headed out of the weather station. Before leaving though, I decided that I was going to try to take on Caesar and his entire group of idiots, which actually went really smoothly. I was expecting to die here, and I was only really going to give myself 1 or 2 attempts at this, but I actually succeeded on killing all of them on the first attempt without getting immediately fisted, which was a pleasant surprise. So of course it was back to the gunrunners to restock on supplies before heading out on my next leg of the journey, which was going to be the Boomer. I did have to fight off a pack of drug-induced psychotics, but that's pretty standard for a day in the Mojave, so we're just gonna fly right on past that, except for almost getting my limbs blown off by a couple of grenades. Yeah, fun times. God, I love explosives. I of course murdered everyone's favorite gambler, and then also realized that I never killed Oliver Swanwick on this run, or actually on a lot of my runs. Anyways, once I'd made it to Pearl's shack, I did something that is gonna shock a lot of you. I actually decided to help the Boomers for once. Normally, I just kind of ignore them and either kill them off or just don't really do anything with them, but I decided to switch it up for once this playthrough and go ahead and do the Boomer questline so that they would help us at the second battle of Hoover Dam. Honestly, this questline is just a lot of walking around their camp. And I mean, I can't really complain too much because I didn't have to do the ant killing quest, since I had a high enough repair skill to just repair the satellites, which got me enough brownie points with the Boomers to do their final questline, which is, of course, going over to Lake Mead and raising up the bomber from the depths of the lake, which is just, it's a fairly easy quest. It's just normally I don't like to handle all the walking, but I was feeling generous this run and decided that I would help them out instead of just murder all of them. Of course, I got assaulted by some raiders on the goddamn beach as soon as I tried to lift the bomber out of the water, which was pretty annoying to just randomly deal with, but the bomber did eventually come up out of the water, and I could head back and tell Loyal that that was done. With that, I had finally completed the Boomer's questline. I think this is the first time I've done it in a challenge video, and I could head back to Mr. House to let him know that the Boomers were going to, relax and help us instead of just bombing everyone. And then it was time to go deal with the Brotherhood. Armor-piercing rounds, the Brotherhood didn't stand a chance. I mean, do I even really need to say anything? I could kill the Brotherhood in like 10 bullets. For once, I just had the absolute raw power of a weapon in a challenge run to just slaughter the entire Brotherhood. I mean, I say that like the Brotherhood is normally like really challenging and makes me stuck for hours, but I mean, normally I don't have too many issues with them. It's just on some of the runs, like for example the 1 HP run, there is no way in hell I'm going to deal with the Brotherhood on a run like that. For the most part though, this run was fairly easy, and I slaughtered everyone inside so that I could get the key cards and just blow up the bunker. With that out of the way, and forgetting to go back to Black Mountain and kill Tabitha, I headed back to Mr. House to get my next step, which was of course the Eldorado substation, so I went off and committed a nice terrorist act against the soldiers inside by mowing them down with a fully automatic weapon. So of course, after committing another war crime and getting the power to the station back up and running to the strip so that Mr. House could, I don't know, turn on his vibrator or whatever he's doing with it, I went back to let him know that yes, he could indeed turn on his vibrator and then head to the second battle of Hoover Dam. This went a lot better than I was expecting. I figured the Centurions were going to give me some issues, but I kind of, forgot about the whole built-in armor piercing with 5mm rounds. And now it makes me wonder how good a minigun only run would be. Because I don't even know where to get a minigun in Fallout New Vegas. I know that, like, maybe Black Mountain can have them sparingly, but I don't think I've ever actually seen one in, like, a merchant's inventory or anything, which makes me really want to consider doing that next, just to use 5mm rounds more. And I know I could go get the unique one, but I'm not going to do that. By this point, I was so confident that I even killed my own Citron before going up and lighting up the Legate. There was zero repercussions for this. Normally I have a repercussion or a consequence or something happen to me as soon as I kill an ally. But no, I went up, took a copious amount of drugs, started spraying the Legate down, and then he talked to me. I've never seen this happen before. I don't know what this was about. But I just, told him to fuck off and die and murdered him anyways, then murdered his guards because, well, I had ammo left in the magazine, and then spent far too long and far too many bullets trying to spray this one Legate member from a cliffside that was way too far away. I tried tap firing, I tried recoil control spraying, I tried a whole bunch of different tactics, and eventually just gave up and went and let General Oliver into the camp. And once I was, subsequently done talking to him, I just mowed down him and all the NCR troops with an automatic assault rifle, because why not? I'm sure there's a metaphor there, or a joke, or something that somebody can make. But with that, I beat Fallout New Vegas using only the Assault Carbine. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this run as much as I did. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I did get the ability to monetize the channel with memberships finally, so if you're interested in that, go down below and click that join button. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. With Starfield right around the corner, I'm not sure how many more New Vegas runs I'm going to be doing, and since I'm kind of burnt out on 4, I'm not sure I'm going to be doing a run on that either, but I'm pretty sure the next video is going to be on Dark Souls, so stay tuned for that. And as always, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.